Hello guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Kautar. If this is your very first time here, and you're absolutely welcome to my YouTube channel. On my channel I do a lot of crochet tutorials, and my aim is to help you get better with working with crochet diagrams, because there's a whole lot of gems that are hidden in crochet diagrams, and that is why my channel is dedicated to helping you understand how to read crochet diagrams so that you can make a variety of crochet projects by yourself. Please consider subscribing if you're interested in learning more about crochet. I make tutorials 2 times every week, and you can just also check the description box below. I'm going to leave a link to download this particular diagram. I'll also leave a link to the written pattern in case you prefer to work with a written pattern still. But in today's video, I'm going to be showing you how to work with this diagram that I have in front of me here. And this is a very easy pattern. It's just a very easy stitch pattern, and I'm just going to get into it right away. If this isn't your first video, you already know that the very first thing we're going to do when we want to work with this diagram, or even any crochet diagram, is to write out all the icons in the diagram and what they represent, so that whenever you come to that icon in the diagram, you know what you're supposed to be doing. So the very first things we can see, there are these small oval shapes here at the beginning, and those represent chains. So it means that whenever you see this oval shape, you do a chain. So whenever you see this, you do a chain. Whenever you see it, you do a chain. Now the next thing we can see is this long bar with an horizontal bar across it, right? That one represents a double crochet. So whenever you see that, you do a double crochet whenever you come across this icon. And then the very last icon we can see is the plus signs, so we write that as well, and that one represents single crochet. If you're not new to crochet and you're not familiar with these other stitches, you can check the link in my description box, because I've already made tutorials on how to make these stitches, and those ones, the tutorials are quite beginner friendly, very slow, and you can get it easily. So just watch those videos and you can come back to watch this one if you do not already know how to make the single crochet or double crochet stitch. Now that we've written out everything, the icons and what they represent, the next thing is to now start working the diagram. And of course, in crochet you want to start with the chains, right? And this is where we have the chains. This is where we're going to be starting the work. So I want to do chains, and the next thing I want to know is how many chains will I do to begin this project. And I'm just going to count how many of these oval shapes we have here, and that will tell us how many chains to do, because each oval shape represents one chain. Like this is one chain, this is another chain, so we're just going to count everything in total to know how many chains to do. So let's just count together. 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10 11 12 13 14 15 16 17 18 19 20 21 22 23 24 25. Now there are 25 chains here, right? But then you'd notice that here the diagram still says something like 2 and 1. So you notice that there are some other languages here that are not English. So that is why it's very good if you know how to work with crochet diagrams, because crochet diagrams are majorly used by non-English speaking countries. So the only way you can understand patterns from those countries is if you understand the diagram, except you understand their language, which I don't. And that is why the diagrams are very helpful for me. So whatever they've written here is to tell you how many chains to do. Like you should do your chains in multiples of maybe 2 and then add 1, right? That is what this is. So we're going to be doing chains in multiples of 2 plus 1, and in for the example, excuse me, there are 25 chains here. Like we have, I'm just going to count again: 2 4 6 8 10 12 14 16 18 20 22 23. This is the foundation chain. Then these other 2 chains, they are the turning chains, right? They are the turning chains. So you notice that 23 is a multiple of 2 plus 1. I mean 22 plus 1 is 23. So multiple of 2 plus 1. It means that if you want to make this piece bigger than this swatch, just do a chain that is a multiple of 2 plus 1 until you get to the length that you want. And I'm just going to be explaining to you, because this time around I'm not just doing a swatch, I'm not just showing you how to work with this diagram. I'm going to be making a dishcloth or a kitchen napkin or a pot holder, whatever you want to call it. I'm going to be making something out of this piece, and I know what I want my my finished piece to measure. So I'm just going to show you. But basically what we want to do is a chain that is a multiple of 2 plus 1. So if you do like 12 chains, add one more. If you do 14 chains, you add one more, right? And then you add 2 turning chains. For the sake of this demonstration, I'm just using this cotton yarn. It is unbranded, got it from my local market. It is cotton. Is the best for making dishcloths, washcloths, because cotton is a very absorbent material. So I'm just going to start with the chains right away. So I'm starting with the chains. I'm just making this up as I go, so I don't know how many chains I'm going to do yet. So when I make some chains, I'm going to measure until I get the measurements I want, because I know what I want the piece to measure. So I'll just do some chains now and then measure till I get the measurements I want. So I want my washcloth to be 12 inches. So I'm just measuring the chain I have now, and you see that this is 11 inches. 11 inches here. So what I'll do, I know that I just need a couple more chains to get it to 12, maybe like 3 or 4 chains to get it to 12. So I'm going to count how many chains I currently have. This is the process of creating patterns, guys. So right now I'm counting how many chains I have. This is 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20, 22, 24, 26, 28, 30, 32, 34, 36, 38, 40. This is 41, right? So I'm going to make 44 chains. Remember that we want our chains to be in multiples of 2, right? And this is 41. This is 41 is not a multiple of 2. So I just do 42, 43, 44. I have my 44 chains now. And then I'm going to add 1. Now this is the foundation. This is the chain for the pattern. The pattern says multiple of 2 plus 1. So 44 is a multiple of 2, and I've added the extra 1 to make it 45. Now I'm done with that. So I'm here now. I'm at this point. I've done the foundation chain. The next thing I'm going to do is to do 2 chains which serve as the turning chain. So I just do 1, 2. This is my turning chain, and then I begin row 1. For row 1, you see that there is 1 double crochet and another double crochet forming sort of like a V. So we're doing 2 double crochets in a particular chain. What chain are we doing this in? We count from the back. This is the first chain from the hook, the second chain from the hook, third chain from the hook, and then in the fourth chain from the hook we do 2 double crochets, which is what I'm going to be doing now. This icon represents double crochet, don't forget, and then there's 2 of it in that fourth chain space. So this is the first chain from the hook, the second, the third, and in the fourth, I'm just going to turn my work to the back slightly. I do 2 double crochets in this space. This is 1, and then this is 2. Once I'm done with that, I go back to the diagram. So I've just finished this first V. Then I skip 1 chain. As you can see, there's nothing going into this chain. I skip 1 chain, and in the next chain I do another V, skip 1 chain, another V, and that is all I'm going to be doing till I get to the end of this row, as you can see. So just skip 1 chain and do your V, skip 1 chain and do the V. I skip, this is the next chain, I skip it, and in the next one I do the V, which is 2 double crochets. Skip the next chain, and in the next one I do the V, which is 2 double crochets, and that is all I'm going to be doing till I get to the end of this row. And I'll meet you guys back up. Let's just keep at this. I'm almost at the end now. As you can see, I have just 3 stitches left. So I'll come back to the diagram. 3 chains left, sorry. So I come back to the diagram. See, I've finished. I'm at this point. I have 3 chains left. So I'm going to skip 1, do my V stitch in the next, and then do 1 double crochet in the last chain. So skip 1, do the V stitch in this next one. And in the last chain, which is this one, I do 1 double crochet. And that brings me to the end of row 1. This is what I have. I'm done with row 1 now, which is here. So to move to row 2, I'm going to chain 1. Remember, this oval shapes represent chain, so I chain 1 and then I do a single crochet in each stitch from the previous row. You can see that the plus icons, they are on top of the stitches from the previous row, so there's one on top of each. So that's what we're going to be doing till we get to the end of this row here. So chain 1 and then single crochet in the top of each stitch from the previous row, and I'll just get to that now. Chain 1, I turn, then I start doing my single crochet in the top of each stitch from the previous row. I'm just going to continue this till I get to the end, and I'll meet you guys back up when I'm at the end of this row. Okay, so I've just finished my row 2, the row of single crochet, and I want to call your attention to something. I put my last single crochet in the first double crochet from the previous row. I didn't do anything in the chain 2, and I'm going to show you that's because the diagram didn't say we should do anything at the chain 2. See, this was the chain 2 turning chain that we did at the beginning, and there's nothing on top of it. Your last single crochet goes in the first double crochet of the previous row. So that's the end of my row 2. This is what my work looks like right now. So to move on to row 3, so you just chain 2, and then this is the V stitch row. As you can see, chain 2, skip the first single crochet, V stitch in the next, and remember the V stitch is 2 double crochets in the same space. So skip the next stitch, V stitch in the next, skip the next stitch, V stitch in the next, and that's all you're going to be doing till you get to the end of this row. So row 3 is the same thing with row 1, right? And then the row 4, which is this one here, is the same thing with row 2, which is the single crochet row. Chain 1, single crochet in each stitch across. So this pattern is very easy and really repetitive, because from here I'm just going to be repeating this row 1 and 2 till I get to the end, like till I get to the length I want. So just repeat row 1 and 2, row 1 and 2, keep repeating it till you get to the length that you want. Is what I'm also going to be doing. And don't forget that there's a link in the description box to download this pattern, so you can just have the pattern and follow along with it. There's also going to be the link to the written pattern. If you prefer to work with a written pattern, you can just get that as well. But I'm going to continue this now till I get to the length I want for my washcloth, and when I'm there, I'm going to come back and show you what the stitch looks like. Okay, so I have done a couple of rows for my dish towel now, and I've ended on a double crochet row. I've actually just been repeating these 2 rows of the pattern, the double crochet row and the single crochet row, and I'm currently on the double crochet row, which is this one here, on the double crochet row, but I've gotten to the length I want, so I'm just going to do the last row. I came here so we can do the last row together, and the last row is a single crochet row. So chain 1 and single crochet in each of the stitches from the previous row, which is what I'm going to be doing to finish up this work. So I've chained 1, I turned the work. In the very first double crochet I put a single crochet, in the next I put a single crochet, and I'm basically going to be putting single crochet in each of the stitches from the previous row, and that is all I'm going to be doing for this row till I get to the end, and I'll meet you guys back up when I'm at the end of this row. So I've come to the end. I did the last single crochet in the top of the double crochet. I don't put any stitch in the chain 2 from the beginning. So this is my chain 2 from the beginning. I'm not going to put any stitch in there. And now that I'm done with this last single crochet, I just feel like putting a very short handle. So I'm just going to chain like maybe 15, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Honestly, I think 8 is fine because I don't want it to be too long. And I'm going to then slip stitch in that beginning chain 2. And then I'll fasten off my work and weave in the ends. And that brings me to the end of this nice project. I'm so happy with this. I can hang it with this hole here, and because I use kitchen sorry, because I use cotton yarn, it's really absorbent. I really like it. I've actually run out of kitchen towels, so I'm very happy about this one that I made. I'm really happy about it. If you like to make this project, just rewind, watch the video from the beginning, and you can send me your makes on my Instagram. I'm going to link my Instagram down below. If you need to shop supplies as well, you can send me a message on Instagram and I'm going to help you out with that. Please don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel for more crochet tutorials, and click on the bell icon. Click on the bell icon so you're notified every single time I post a new video. And I'm just going to see you in my next video. Thank you so much for watching, guys. Bye.